Hi everyone, Meteorologist Emery here in the Fox 19 First Alert Streaming Center here on this Saturday evening. Hopefully you all are enjoying yourselves. Maybe you're watching the Bengals game. It's the halftime show right now on Fox 19. So maybe you taking a little break, want to check out the First Alert forecast. We got that covered for you here right now. And something I do every single Saturday and Sunday evening is I give you the forecast first, giving you tonight, tomorrow, and the 7-day forecast. That way, if you got plans, maybe you're going to go back to watch the Bengals game here soon, you can do that without any worry or issues. So we'll do that right now. So taking a look at the forecast for tonight, we got some heavy rain moving in here late tonight, going into our Sunday morning. This could dump close to an inch of rain in spots. So a locally heavy rainfall will certainly be possible. And I will add that we are looking at the forecast, making a few tweaks. I do think that we are going to be pretty warm for the majority of the night tonight with temperatures in the mid to upper 50s. So it says 51. Again, I'm working on the forecast right now, making several changes because a lot of things have developed here in the last couple of model runs that we need to look over. I've been still looking through it, just didn't have enough time to get through all of it here this evening to have it prepared here for 19 at 6. But regardless, here is, again, that tonight's temperatures will be in the upper 50s. Tomorrow, looking at cloudy skies, it'll be a windy day with rain primarily in the morning. Temperatures will be in the upper 50s, close to 60 for the first half of the day. But then the second half of the day, temperatures are going to drop, going down into the lower 50s later in the day. So looking cooler in the afternoon. In addition, looking at windy conditions. So here is the 7-day forecast. Again, working on this in real time. So we're looking at temperatures falling on Sunday in the afternoon. Monday does look dry with mostly cloudy skies. New Year's Eve, we've got rain, some breezy conditions. New Year Day, it looks a lot drier now at this point. If we see anything on New Year's Day, it's going to be maybe a few flurries, but it'll still be breezy. High temperatures will be in the 30s. And then going into the latter half of the week into next weekend, much colder air moves in with a few flurries possible on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday under cloudy skies. So colder air on the way, but the big story, of course, right now is the rain moving in heading into tonight. We'll dive into that here coming up in just a couple of minutes. But again, that is your forecast first. We give that to you the first couple of minutes of 19 at 6. That way you can get the forecast and get back to what you're doing, because I understand it's the weekend. You got plans, don't want to have to halt that. But, of course, we welcome you to stay. We'd love for you to stay if you can any longer, if possible. So now we're taking a look at our tower camera. This is a live look. This is actually live right now, although it's a little blurry. This is a look at Paycor Stadium, and as you can see, they're really lit up. It's still halftime, but you can still see they got some of the promo video they have before they go back to kickoff. But still a very beautiful evening here in Cincinnati. Cloudy, though, and it's been pretty cooperative here for the afternoon. Temperatures are in the mid-50s, 57 degrees currently here in Cincinnati. Looking over at our Newport Levee camera, also a beautiful shot. Temperatures there are going to be pretty nice there. Again, 57 degrees here this hour. But again, cloudy skies. We'll switch now over to our Turfway Park camera. A few horses are out there here this hour, and we are looking at quiet conditions there. And our Mount Auburn camera, which apparently needs a minute to load. Cloudy skies there as well. So we're looking at radar here next, and not much is happening, fortunately. There were a few sprinkles, light showers perhaps over to our east earlier, but it's looking pretty dry here going into the next couple of hours. So if you got dinner plans, if you're heading out, if you're not going to the Bengals game, if you're just trying to enjoy yourself without sports, looking okay, dry conditions. But we will widen this out, and you can see the rain already approaching over towards Fort Campbell there in southwestern portions of Kentucky, over towards I-24 and I-69, just to the west of Bowling Green. Towards the Paducah area, Evansville will probably see this rain next couple of hours, but this is heading in our direction. Now, do want to add that this is just rain. You might hear some rumbles of thunder late tonight and into the day on Sunday, but we're not looking at a severe weather threat for us here in the tri-state. In fact, I do want to widen this out here because this is part of a system that is bringing in a lot of severe weather for folks down towards portions of Louisiana, Mississippi, and eventually into Alabama late tonight. So what I want to do real quick is look at the latest watches right now, because they have had tornado watches down towards Jackson, Mississippi, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, extending all the way down towards Lake Charles into the far eastern fringe of Texas to the east of Houston. But this is what we call a PDS tornado watch. If you don't know what that is, it means particularly dangerous situation. And again, this is for down further south, not for us. We're not going to see this. I can assure you that we're not going to see that. But there are currently some warnings out there right now, and you can see some the pink areas are tornado warnings. The areas of orange are severe thunderstorm warnings. The areas outlined in pink, that is the potential for seeing rotation on some of those severe thunderstorm warnings, and then a couple of flash flood warnings. But if you got folks down that way, make sure they have ways to receive weather alerts, because it's going to be a pretty busy evening for folks towards the deep south from Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. But for us here at home, we're just going to see rain tonight and maybe some rumbles of thunder. In fact, we'll dive into that right now on our forecast model, if we can go dig and find it. So here we are. We're looking at some rain moving in after 10 p.m. tonight. So after 10 o'clock, we are looking at that widespread rain that's going to move in, and this will continue through the overnight hours. So here it is on full screen. We'll play this out. And again, it's been rather dry. So here's 10 o'clock. You see the rain begin to move in, really widespread, especially after midnight. And then we head into the Sunday morning drive. You can see there moderate to heavy rain, and then more scattered showers as we head into the midday and early afternoon. But I do want to add that Sunday afternoon does appear to be more dry than wet. We will have some scattered showers, so we will see some areas of rain. But the bigger story tomorrow during the day is the winds that's going to move through. Tonight, it's the heavy rain. We could be looking at rainfall totals. In fact, let me go ahead and pull that up real quick, because this is happening tonight. We could see upwards of a ½ an inch, close to an inch in some spots. So we're going to play this out. So we go into the overnight hours into Sunday morning. More than a ½ an inch, a couple of spots to our west, close to an inch of rainfall. And then we continue this on Sunday during the day. Not much on the additional amounts of rainfall, because again, Sunday we're looking at widely scattered showers moving in. But generally speaking, most of the tri-state will see more than a ½ an inch of rain between tonight through Sunday because of that heavy rainfall. But the bigger story, as I mentioned, it's the wind. Something we've been pinpointing the last couple of days of it being breezy, but the wind forecast has really picked up in the last 24 hours with this system. Tonight, though, won't be too breezy. Tonight, we might see gusts maybe around 20 miles per hour. But once we head into Sunday morning, winds will pick up. So this is 8 a.m. Sunday. So meteorologist Ashley Smith will be tracking these gusty winds upwards of 30 miles per hour. Now, Sunday afternoon, I'll have to come in a little bit early, it looks like, because we might be looking at widespread, impactful winds. This is just one particular model run. We could see wind gusts upwards of 40 miles per hour. I think 50 might be a bit much. But that being said, the models are picking up on intense winds with this area of low pressure moving right over the tri-state, heading in, or not right over, but around the region, I should say, moving into Sunday afternoon. So gusty winds will be with us Sunday afternoon. I would say upwards of 40 miles per hour. But then we head into next week. Monday, we're going to start off dry. But we head into the middle of, or Tuesday, I should say, for New Year's Eve, we are looking at rain moving in. So this computer is running a little slow. That's also why it's been a little bit challenging for me to get this forecast completely updated. But still working on it, like I said. If you have any questions, let me know in the Facebook chat, both on the Fox 19 Facebook page as well as my Facebook page. So what we'll do here is put this full screen, and we'll go and play this out. Monday's dry. We go into New Year's Eve. So this is Tuesday morning. We've got rain moving in. New Year's Eve during the day, we've got widespread scattered showers. This will continue throughout the day, New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve night, looking a little wet, but something I've been noting the last couple of days is that the colder air that's moving in, New Year's Eve night into New Year's Day, looks drier and drier. Now, we can't rule out the potential for a little bit of a rain-snow mix, but there are no issues with icy spots. There are no issues with snow accumulations. It just does not look to be in the picture for us. Why? Well, a couple of reasons. One, I've been mentioning that drier air, kind of cutting off some of that moisture as this thing moves through New Year's Eve night into New Year's Day. Secondly, it's been so warm. It's in the 50s right now. Ground temperatures are pretty warm. We've got rain coming in tonight. It's going to keep those ground temperatures warm. We got rain coming in Tuesday. That's going to also keep the ground temperatures warm. So if we see any flurries or light snow showers New Year's Eve night or New Year's Day, it's not going to be sufficient enough. There's no intense bands moving in. So New Year's Day, we could see potential for a mix, but at this point, I would say it looks to be a bit drier than anything else. But we can't rule out that potential for a wintry mix. Then we head on into Thursday. Thursday, we could look at the potential for maybe a flurry in the evening. And then we head into our Friday, and Friday could also see the potential for a few flurries. But then the next weather maker I want to focus on, this is something that's been happening in the models consistently here, and there are still a lot of unknowns, and that is next Sunday. This system here, the timing is going to be a big factor. Because if this thing moves in the early morning hours, it could be cool enough to have more rain-snow mix, or perhaps a wintry precipitation like sleet or even freezing rain. But if it happens later in the morning hours Sunday, we might see it start off as rain. So we're going to keep an eye on the 5th. January 5th, Sunday, we could be looking at some impactful weather moving in. This is going to be eventually transitioning over to rain. So it's going to play this out forward in time. So this model has it starting off as that wintry precipitation, but it does change over to rain. That being said, Sunday night into Monday, January 6th, we are looking at that wintry precipitation returning and eventually turning into snow shower activity on January 6th. Now, like I said, this is still too far out. There are still a lot of unknowns. There's question marks as for the timing and, how intense will this area of low pressure be? Now, this is obviously more than a week out, so there's going to be a lot of things that will change as we get closer. You might see things on social media pop up. You might see things developing on, I don't know, if you look at other weather sources, even those who may not be weather professionals, they might be hyping this up. But I'm here to say right now, this is a moment where we watch it and you just check back. You be responsible with it. Don't share something on Facebook just because it might look big and scary. But I would say right now, keep an eyeball on Sunday and Monday, January 5th and January 6th, because we are looking at this system moving in. It's been consistent upon model runs, and it does look like we have the odds to see some winter precipitation moving to the tri-state. But until then, that's the most I'm going to give you, because right now it's too far to talk about any kind of amounts. It's too far to talk about timing. The impacts right now looks like rain and winter precipitation. That's the best I can tell you right now as a responsible meteorologist. But that's kind of the next thing that's going to be focused on after the new year. Because until then, we've got rain tonight, gusty winds Sunday, rain New Year's Eve, and then maybe a few flurries New Year's Day evening, Thursday and Friday of next week. You'll see it here on our 7-day forecast behind me. And before we continue with that, I do want to look at our Facebook comments and questions before we dive into that any further. Okay. Go ahead and move on here. Steve chiming in on Facebook, so thank you, Steve, for chiming in. Steve saying we've been talking about that event window for 2 weeks now, so thank you, Steve, for acknowledging that. Rachel says, how's the severe chances looking for tomorrow? We're not seeing that. If we have any threat in the region for any storm that looks stronger, it looks off to the east towards southeast Ohio or West Virginia. Not for us. We're going to be fine for tomorrow, Rachel. The story tomorrow is going to be the gusty winds that move in, heading into tomorrow afternoon, into tomorrow evening. Susan says, good evening. Good evening to you. Dana says, hello, Ethan. Happy holidays. Happy holidays to you. Linda says they've had enough of the rain, but loving the warmer temperatures. Yeah, a lot of people like the warm conditions, but this weather pattern, it kind of comes at a cost of dealing with the moisture that comes with it. Molly says, what a beautiful Saturday. hit 60 in December, and it sure did confuse the bees. They were out. No rain in Pleasant Plain. Thank you, Molly. Sarah says, hey, Ethan, hope all is good. Thank you, Sarah. You as well. We'll switch things over to my Facebook page real quick, at Ethan Emery WX. That way I can see if I got any questions or comments on there. Susan says good evening. John Barney says, grilling out in the borough was great this afternoon. Good to hear that, John. Hopefully you're still enjoying this nice weather this evening. Darla says, good evening. Hope you had a great day. Chelsea said, just really want some snow. Can't wait. Same goes on the Fox 19 Facebook page from Barbara and Nancy. I would say, for those of you who want snow, keep an eye on January 5th and 6th. More so the 6th than anything else. But right now, that is far enough to where a lot's going to change between now and then. But keep your fingers crossed. Look at that date. As we get closer, of course, things will be updated. But here is that 7-day forecast. We've got temperatures in the upper 50s for Sunday, rain and breezy. And again, looking at some stronger wind gusts at this point moving in. I would say gusts could get up to 40 miles per hour on Sunday during the day. And temperatures are going to fall in the afternoon. So the high of 58 will be in the mid-morning hours, so 10, 11 a.m. But then in the afternoon, temperatures will fall down into the lower 50s here in the tri-state. Monday, mostly cloudy, high of 52. New Year's Eve, rain, a little breezy gusts as well that day, a high of 47. New Year Day, 38, a little bit of a morning mix, but otherwise cloudy and blustery, a high of 38. Thursday, mostly cloudy, and the high will be 31. Can't rule out a few flurries perhaps that day. Same goes for Friday. Even into Saturday, colder air does dig into the region. In fact, Saturday, I would say, looks the driest of the 3 days. Again, with that cold air. Highs in the upper 20s and the low 30s, and lows will be in the teens and low 20s. But again, I am looking at some updates on this 7-day forecast, and I will be providing those very soon on fox19.com/weather, and of course on our 24/7 weather streaming channel and on the First Alert Weather app. And of course, tonight at 10 o'clock, we've got not only your First Alert forecast, I'll be going a little bit more in depth on this stuff, especially with the New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and also with the rain tonight and the winds for tomorrow. But also with that, we got your Bengals coverage, of course, here on Fox 19. We've got, of course, all your latest news headlines as well. But I think I've lost a lot of viewers, it seems like. Oh, we got a couple people popping back in. Nancy says they want snow. Yeah. So, again, if you're wanting snow, you got to look to the first full week of January, where we're looking at a colder pattern moving in with that potential for some snow shower activity that Monday of January 6th. But until then, if you want to see any flakes, you might see that perhaps New Year's Day morning, but very light, and then maybe a few flurries on Thursday and Friday next week with high temperatures only in the low 30s at this point. But I will say, I'm working on the 7-day forecast, and I will be showing beyond the 7-day forecast in that video we put out on the website here pretty soon. But at this point, I have seen no additional comments or questions, and we got to get things wrapped up because, of course, we've got that Bengals game, and people are probably going to be tuning back into that here pretty soon. So with that being said, I have not seen any additional comments or questions, so I'm going to go ahead and close things off here. So I'll take one last look at Facebook before we go ahead and close this out. But otherwise, the big story is the heavy rain tonight. We could see upwards of a half an inch of rain here in the tri-state. Close to an inch of rain between tonight through Sunday in some spots locally. But also the winds tomorrow, we could see gusts tomorrow up to 40 miles per hour. And then the other thing is New Year's Eve, we've got rain moving in, and then New Year's Eve night into New Year's Day. A little bit of a wintry mix, but it's going to be very light. And the only impact will be wet roads. No icy roads are in the forecast for then. The grounds are just too warm at this point. One last look before we close this off. Speak now, forever hold your peace. No additional comments there. Emily asking, what is the weather going to be like in New Trenton, Indiana? When? When are you asking more specifically, Emily? Are you asking for tonight? Because tonight it is going to be some rain moving in after 10 p.m. It's going to start off light but quickly become heavy at times, especially going into the late overnight hours. So 3, 4, 5 a.m. heavy rain will move in. Okay, Emily, thank you. Tonight and tomorrow. So heavy rain moves in tonight after 10 p.m. and it's going to continue with periods of moderate to heavy rain. Could see upwards of a ½ an inch of rain over towards Franklin County. You could be looking at amounts closer to 3/4 of an inch of rain. And by tomorrow morning, still looking at some rain, although the intensity of the rain will begin to let up a little bit. Winds will begin to pick up, and tomorrow, scattered showers, won't be a complete washout. In fact, tomorrow afternoon, it'll be more dry than wet. But that being said, it's going to be much windier. We're looking at winds picking up with gusts upwards of 35 to 40 miles per hour. Locally, we could see some higher winds. Jenny says, no rain, Ethan. If only you could control that. Hey, I would much appreciate that to do that. Yeah, we're good with the rain, at least for the next few hours. So we got until about 10 o'clock before we see those showers begin to move in. Vicky asking, when solid precipitation? Could you be more specific? Are you asking about snow? Because our next opportunity to see any chance of even snowflakes coming down won't be until New Year's Day morning, early morning. But that being said, it's going to be very, very light and mixed in with rain, and it does not look to be bringing any impacts, just a sign that it is going to be cold here in the tri-state. Emily says thank you. Thank you as well. Okay. Looking at any other comments. No additional comments on my Facebook page. Whenever I look at my phone on 19atSIX, I'm just looking at my Facebook page. It's impossible to look at both Facebook pages on one monitor at the same time, unfortunately. But we got our phone, which is always helpful to have. Okay, Vicky clarified snow. Yeah, so again, the next chance of even seeing snowflakes won't be until New Year's Day early morning. It's going to be very light mixed in with rain, and it's not going to produce anything more than just wet roads. Thursday and Friday next week, we are going to be seeing maybe a few flurries, but that's about it. That's the 7-day forecast. The next eyeball potential of looking at some snow showers will be potentially on Monday, January 6th. Of course, that far out, a lot can change. As we get closer, we will go ahead and tweak that forecast and let you know here on Fox 19. So that's going to do it for us here on this Saturday edition of 19atSIX, our weekend weather show. Thank you all so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of the Bengals game. And, of course, we got you covered with your news, sports, and weather headlines down at 10 o'clock on Fox 19 Now.